It was here, among these chimneys, that I first saw the light of day. My journey through life began in the 13-ton mould as an ingot. They give you a number and start pushing you around, much like the army, really. This is your life in their hands. That's how I started out. How I ended up is something else again. It's here that you start to wonder what's to become of you. You're in a furnace that reheats you to rolling temperature. That means a temperature which makes you plastic enough to be the shape. And that shape depends on what you're going to be. Anything from something small that nobody sees to a shining pillar in high places. All you know is that you'll probably be used in the construction industry as some kind of section, beam, column, joist, T-bar channel or angle. It's when the crane puts you down on the rolling table that if you're smart, you can get your first clue. Because it's the shape of the rolls beyond that steam which will decide your future. What'll it be? You could end up delicate but strong, holding up a lens to search the skies, or the stanchion of a bridge across a great river, the girder of a roof, framework of a building, or part of an oil rig at the bottom of the sea. Well, it's all honest work, and no matter what's in store for you, there's not much you can do about it except take what comes. And that's plenty. Some of us jib a bit when the squeeze is on. Who doesn't? But you can't argue with 20,000 horsepower. They take 150 millimeters off your vital statistics, and at the same time, compact your outer surface so that no matter what stresses you run into in the future, you'll never crack up. These 30-ton rolls certainly leave their mark, and after several passes, my shape began to appear. They were making me into a column. They say there's a destiny which shapes our end, and this is where it happens. A ram pushes you up bodily against the blade of the shear. It was here I got my second clue about the size I was going to be. If you're going to be small, they have to pass you through the next mill many times, losing heat in the process. So at this point, they heat you up again. If, on the other hand, they pass you straight along, you know you're going to be big. And that was me. The roll barrels of the roughing mill are preset for each pass by the touch of a button. This controls accurately what's called your inner profile. It makes your flange and web thicknesses and your overall section size spot on. I was a good deal longer now from the rolling, and I'd come a long way from being just a rough red lump of steel. The first flush of youth had given way to the cool confidence of maturity. And you've got to be confident to measure up to the test they put you to. When you pass this lot, the customer who buys you knows he's got accuracy and consistency. Whoever'd ordered me could be sure that I'd stand up to what I was designed to do, whatever that might be. They certainly keep tabs on you. They gave me a new number now, like a stamp of integrity. And there I was, out in the air again with some others just like me, 14.5 meters long, weighing in at 177 kilograms per meter. The newest member of a not inconsiderable family. A family with an honourable history. 200 years ago, England built the first example of iron engineering in the world, number 7. It still stands. The world's first steel bridge would have been ours too, if it hadn't been for the bureaucrats. In 1859, just 4 years after Bessemer had invented his process, a steel bridge was proposed for the new Charing Cross station. But the government at the time would only allow steel for ships. And so, as so often happens, other countries went ahead and developed our invention. The Dutch built the first steel bridge in 1864. The Americans spanned the Mississippi 10 years later. And the Americans went on to develop the steel-framed skyscraper and created a building tradition which has earned the admiration of generations of men. As for me, my first stop was Norwich. Here in Norwich, the steel fabricating company of Bolton and Paul were to see to the next stage of my development. An architect had made a design, and engineers had worked out the structural elements, making fabrication detailed drawings of the location, level, and relationship of each steel member. If I could have understood it, this was probably a picture of me. What had begun as a twinkle in an architect's eye was now somebody's baby. And some baby. Next, I was shot blasted, which means exactly what it says. You're bombarded with millions of particles to make you shine. This is immediately followed by painting, so that rust has no time to form. Whoever had ordered me wanted a rolled finish to a pretty high standard. But before I could get any big ideas, they cut me down to size. To be precise, to 14 meters. Then things really began to happen. Pieces came together that gave me definite clues about my future. When they attached my base and bonnet, to be exact, my base plate and cabin plate, I knew for sure that I was destined to pass my life as a column. And what's more, an exposed column, because of all the care that was being lavished on me. It's understandable that you begin to wonder what exactly will be attached to those cleats you've acquired. After all, whatever it is, you'll be together for a long, long time. I didn't know it then, but the answer lay in another part of the works, where small steel angles and channels were being fabricated into window frames. These were set upon jigs to a tolerance of plus or minus 3 millimeters before being welded together. Then they were machined and ground to the same fine finish. And it seemed certain our paths would cross when they were passed for painting in the same color as my final coat. I was being made ready for what I was pretty sure would be my last journey. Somewhere there was a place for me waiting. A place that only I could feel. be? In the country? On a farm, perhaps? More and more agricultural buildings these days are made of steel. One advantage being the ease of erecting on site. But no, I was much too big for a building like this. When we passed a sign saying Birmingham and Northampton, all kinds of possibilities came to mind. Maybe a factory, or a multi-story car park. Or perhaps life among children at a school, like the steel-built Thomas Becket just outside Northampton. Finally, a contractor's road sign put an end to speculation. As soon as I saw it, I guessed that this was Journey's End. The new city of Milton Keynes. To be precise, its shopping centre. A project in steel and glass, a kilometre long. Somewhere in this vast steel undertaking, I belonged. Here, a spot with my number was waiting for me, and I'd become part of a project designed to serve by the year 1990 250,000 people. Everywhere I could see, steel was being used. Every size of section had a part to play in the design. In all, 9,000 tons of joists, beams, columns, angles, channels, erected in 18 months. Everywhere could be seen the ease and accuracy of steel construction, accuracy of alignment, ease of assembly, and the straightforwardness of progressing to the next stages. Fire protection, where necessary, was simply applied by spray and cladding. Steel, then. A mighty web of steel. And one vital part of it was me. Once upright on my base plate, I would be ready for the steel window frames to be attached to the cleats on each side of me. The frames would be aligned by laser beams to tolerances of 3 millimeters, one frame to another, so that the sheets of glass they carry would be in unwavering lines. I began to understand the reason for the accuracy of my dimensions. They were essential to my role in the whole grand scheme. And it is a grand scheme. Down each side of the whole length of the building, north and south, will be a covered arcade with over 400 large exposed columns. Each arcade glass-walled and paved with marble and planted with trees and shrubs. Picture them lined with shops, big and small, about 170 in all, with the occasional cafe or bar spilling out into the pavement. Add in a peaceful garden court and a covered hall larger than the Euston Concourse, which will be used for exhibitions and events throughout the year. Yes, it transpired that I became arcade column number S714, designed to stand for all the world to see on the north elevation, and to carry 2 window frames of steel with their panels of light and heat reflecting glass. It'll be a load that I shall easily bear when I stand and look out proudly on the countryside. This is what I had been destined for. As it happens, a shining pillar in high places, a block of steel.